We must continue. I was playing the clip of a man, a Fulani man, that is showing us, expressing the type of mindset because of their value system in the same so-called country. Please continue listening. He was invited just in a book launch of an Igbo man, and you listen to what he had been vomiting. Let me start afresh, please.
Start retaliating on you. Don't think you have a right to kill our brothers to any level, and you still participate in Nigeria. Fuck hell with your local lodge. You hear? I didn't got it. Tell him. Let him go and lodge in Mbakwe's grave. You understand?
I don't understand what you're saying, sir, but
I equally don't understand what you're saying. You are calling for my intellectual. And you are idiot tribe, idiot group, idiot state, people who don't have value for themselves. Go and manage yourself in your Imo. Kill the police station, break the prisons. Let's see when the North start retaliating. Where are you going to start? And it's not going to be long. Idiot. Don't think you have a right to be Nigerian when you are massacring Nigeria.
Sir, you know that we respect you.
Shut up there, my friend. Shut up, idiot. Oh, idiot. Ingrate. All the houses you have in Abuja, you leave them there. You leave the houses in Port Harcourt.
You know what he said? He said all the houses you people have, you Igbos have in Abuja, you will leave it, you will abandon it like you have abandoned properties in Port Harcourt. He said, no, our unity of Nigeria now, one Nigeria now will become unity. Oh, we are all one nation, one unity. You see idiots speaking. People that don't understand how hated they are. The Jews of Europe, they were undergoing this until the pogrom during the Second World War. They say no, we cannot continue this. For thousands of years they have been slaughtered by one person, by one tribe, by one nation or the other. The Europeans killed them. In Greece they killed them. The whole Jewish communities anywhere they are, in Portugal, in France, in Greece, in Holland, in Germany, anywhere they are, not even pre-Second World War, I'm saying. We are always targeted because they have a community. Jewish community, anywhere they are, even if they want, let them hide under the auspices. Some change their name, but they know them. The same way they know you as a Biafran, as a Igbo man, whether you are a Georgian, once they see you, they know. If you are hiding in Zungeru, if you want to wear this their house or Arab Jalabia, they know you. So it happened to the Jews. But after the genocide of the Second World War, the Jews, they got sense. They said, no, we need to do this. We need to look for our nation. Either all of us perish or we get it. And today they are enjoying their country. Do you understand? Oh, you people, what you this is our Nigeria. Okay, and you are helping those that hate us to. You are helping them to kill us just for your political gain. Are you not stupid? What type of human being are you? Listen to this full animal. Continue listening what he's saying, what he's vomiting.
We'll close the phone there. I'm not participating in anything anymore. I have so many friends in Umo, Frank Mbezim, Dr. Okoku, Dr. this, Dr. that.
The book launch is actually in Abuja.
Who are you writing to book launch in Abuja? My friend Foka, go and launch the book in Imo. Don't have a place in Imo. Go and launch for your Biafra Igbo agenda. Go there. Invite anybody who wants to go to Imo and launch. Why do people run to Abuja? Go back to your state. You ingrate Igbo idiots. You think you have monopoly of violence? Book launch. What are you writing? Start writing today. What you write before is not a story. Just wait. The day love is going to turn on you any moment from now. You will know you are out. Don't call me for any book launch. I don't pass that level.
Thank you for your concern, sir. Thank
I'm
you
not concerned.
for your good wishes. We are grateful.
I've never wished good.
Have you had him? Have you had all you political? How do we say it? Be politically correct people. Are you hearing? The way they avoid, you know, for him, he didn't know that he's being recorded. Tomorrow, call him outside. He will say, "Oh, no, even I am in law to the Igbos. Look, I have a wife." He will start looking for a wife in Igbo land to go and kill the person, and you will see idiots happy. No, guy in importance of common value system. Let me play again the Buhari impostor. Listen, just what he tweeted. This is him, the impostor speaking. He spoke it direct. Listen.
So that no excuse can be given for any failure. So I expect what is happening in the southeast, attacking police station, killing the police, taking away arms and ammunition. Now, for those of us who are unfortunate to be in the field for the 30 months of the civil war, to see the carnage of how we kill ourselves, at least 1 million people, I think those that are misbehaving, they are either too young, they didn't know what happened. But for those of us who went through all these things, we can't understand. So we will treat them in the language they understand.
Are you hearing?
So I feel for your understanding and so on. We are going to be very hard sooner than later. We have done our best, change the service chiefs and the IG. We allow them time to go around to make necessary changes for them to be firmly in charge. We'll try and give them the resources they require, and we will demand security sooner than later. I thank you very much for your presentation. I assure you that this administration will do whatever we can do for you, so that we don't give anybody excuse to blame us that we don't want to go or want to have a third time. Thank you very much.
Have you heard it? Is what was tweeted, and it's a direct threat. Direct. Okay. I'm compiling because I'm coming. Listen, all these things, he threatened the fire and brimstone to Biafrans, against Biafrans. Fire and brimstone. This one insulted everybody. Is a government official. Now, look at how they are treating their own. The people they call bandits. These are ISWAP, ISIS. The way they treat them. This is why Senator Baribe said they treat us differently from others. And they still want us to be in the same place, in the same country, where we are treated as second-hand citizens. Not even second hand or second class. Third class citizens. Is it not ironical? Let me play this again before I now make the analysis.
Welcome to Politics Today live on Channels Television. I'm Sean Okimbaloye. Tonight, our attention is on the security situation in the country, especially the issue of banditry in the northwest region of the country. And tonight, one person that has been very much involved in advocacy and negotiation, if you may call it.
Advocacy and negotiation with the bandit. These are terrorists. ISIS terrorists. They use this name, bandits, in order to deceive the gullibles and the international community that bandits are everywhere in Nigeria. That on the Shagboro, they are bandits. So confusing, they confuse everybody, deceive everybody. And every media start calling them bandits. These are organized terrorists sponsored by the Nigerian government. Do you understand? These are ISWAP, Islamic State of West African Province. That is what it means. Our leader asked the other time, he said, have you asked yourself, why is it that Nigerian government never talk about this ISIS of West Africa? Why is it that they don't attack them? Why is it that they don't show where they kill any of them? No, they keep mute and everything is muted. It is after that, I think, is it today or yesterday, that they say, we killed some ISIS fighters, casualties. Honestly, they are colonizing Nigeria everywhere. And they are using people because of their greed. Because of individual selfishness, they are using them as agents in order to colonize everybody. Listen, this is a negotiator of terrorists. A negotiator. Do you understand? But the governors that met with our leader 2017, they conspired. He made a legitimate demand for everybody. At least if you want me to tone down my agitation, look at what you should do for a start. Go to Abuja and ask them to do this. We don't have no seaports. Can you open seaports? One seaports? Calabar seaport? Warri seaport? The refineries in our land should be working. Industry should be open so that youths will have job. No specific selfish interest or selfish demand of money. They try to bribe him. He said no. Now our own so-called politicians, governor, they conspire to kill him. They said, oh no, bring a military to kill him. Don't worry. Once we kill him, don't worry. We will handle the aftermath. Don't worry. We know how to handle them. The same mantra by Azikiwe. The same mantra by Okpabiaseka. The same thing, the same statement. The same thing by saboteurs in our land. That is, no, just bring money. We know in our people now, we know how to deal with them. The same thing from Tony Nadi. Don't worry, we know how to deal with them. Don't worry, I will flood them. I know how to speak. Don't worry. I will make sure in order to destroy them. Not knowing that he is destroying himself. Do you understand? The same way Pa Edwin Clark did with the Adakaboro. They fought on the wrong side against their own people. Today, are they enjoying? Today, are they enjoying? Is Ogoni cleaned up? Are they enjoying the whole? Oh God Almighty! I don't know. Now I understand why more than 50% of the whole Negroes being shipped as sardine as slaves all over the world are from the Biafra land, because of the way they reason. But here we are, trying to sanitize, trying to make our people understand issues. I'm telling you honestly. Listen.
He's being a popular Islamic cleric, Sheikh Hamad Gumi. He's our guest tonight on the program. Thank you so much.
They are promoting an ISIS promoter, negotiator, Do you see how horrible things are? And nobody find it as people are comfortable with it. Somebody that moves with governor of Katsina State, Masari. He went to terrorists and took selfies with them, posted it on social media. It's everywhere, and people were happy with it. Gun welding, people welding gun, terrorists with guns. They were happy, embracing. But in our own land, you see people that, oh God Almighty, kill everybody because we were protesting, rallying our legitimate rights on self-determination. That because of the discrimination we are suffering in our land, that because of the marginalization, that we want our separate entity called Biafra. And all hell broke loose. All hell broke loose. We were not with gun. We had only flags. Anywhere we go, they kill us. Anything they kill, our lives didn't matter. People started laughing at us that, oh, you people can't do nothing. You have toothless bulldog. Now things have changed. You see people start complaining. What type of human beings are you? Oh, idiots. What type of people are you? God, the hypocrisy is too much. Black race, why black people are poor, at the background, at the bottom layer of the ladder, they are dishonest, they are hypocritical, they are not truthful, they are liars. What our leader is saying is truth, complete truth, nothing but the truth. That is why we follow him, because he convinces us with nothing but the truth. They understand. Listen, it's just like people read the Bible. Oh, the Jews, they kill Jesus. Why they execute him? Exactly the same thing you are doing today, isn't it? Exactly the same thing. You embrace your killers, and those that are fighting against the killers, you try to kill them. You side your killers in order to kill them, to point fingers at them. Thank God that the saboteurs will not they will not be seeing it as a business as usual. Let us continue listening to Gumi.
Sheikh Gumi, for talking to us on Channels Television.
It's a pleasure for me to be with you.
Thank you indeed. Let's begin the conversation today about the Kagara boys and the students and the families that were abducted in the government science school in Kagara. Actually,
I cannot say exactly if the authorities know where they are.
So it's a bit different from the Kankara situation. You seem to be apprised of those who did the abduction in the Kankara situation, but this one you have no idea of those who are involved.
No, we don't have any idea of those who are involved, because actually we don't even know these people at all. But you see, whoever wants to meet them, depending on the channel of communication. And I think the media should be trying to get across to go and see them and speak with them as we do as clergy. Then you get to understand a lot of things which actually are not in the print. We don't know who they are, and the people we met there are the warlords there. And they say it happened just 2 days ago, and the area is so wide, they don't know which group or which splinter group did the kidnapping, but at all costs they are going to get contact with them, and since we're in a peace negotiation with them, definitely they will lure them into releasing them without any ransom.
It took about 6 days for the Kankara abductees to be
released. Yes.
We're running into almost a week now. It's about Monday or Tuesday last week that the situation in Kagara happened. From what you know,
it happened on Wednesday.
On Wednesday.
Yes.
Yeah. In another 2 days, it will be a week.
A week, yes.
Okay, so it's about 5 days now.
5 days, yes.
That they've been abducted. If you make a comparison from the knowledge of these abductors that you have, is the Kagera situation more complex?
No, it's less complex. Because so now we are not talking about banditry, we are talking about ethnic war.
So it's an ethnic war, right?
Yes, it's going on, yes.
So between which ethnic group?
Between now the nomadic Fulani, the headsmen, and the others. If the others means anybody who's not them. So you can imagine a Fulani man will tell me in Zamfara state that he cannot go into areas, like he cannot go into the town of Shinkafi. When the area of Shinkafi is a Fulani man. He cannot, so it's a war between nomadic Fulanis and the others. The others include Fulanis too that are sedentary. Psychologists, criminologists to investigate how suddenly cattle rustling become a booming business in Nigeria, especially in the northern Nigeria, and how it affected the socio-cultural behavior of the nomadic Fulani. It's very important. They are pushed into criminality, and I think the same way, if you understand, can bring them out from it very easily and quickly.
Okay, I'd like you to clarify something.
Yes.
These elements, these bandits that you've seen, that you know, that you've spoken
Yes.
to,
Yes.
they are Fulanis, is it?
Yes.
They speak Fulfulde.
Yes, they speak Fulfulde.
So,
And they speak Hausa.
okay, so you call them the House of Fulani.
That's why we call the House of Fulani, because of the, we call it interlacing of the culture and language between the Fulani and the Hausas.
They are Fulani. You see how they deceive. These are Fulani, they speak Hausa. You know the Hausa, real Hausa, they don't speak Fulfulde. But the advantages the Fulani have is that they speak Hausa and they speak their own Fulfulde for communication. They reserve it for presidential communication. Do you see it? You see here, this man openly said that these killers, they are Fulani. But it's now absurd that politicians in our land, in Biafra land, Dave Omai, cannot be able to call these people name as Fulani headsmen. Now he called them headers. I will also play you one clip where Dave Omai was calling headers. He said there are Ijaw headers, there are Igbo headers, it's not only one tribe. Defending our killers. These are the problems we are having. Continue, please, continue listening, please.
But they are originally Fulani.
They are physical and everything, they are Fulanis.
Of Nigerian extraction.
No, they're Nigerians, no doubt about that.
They are Nigerians.
Yes, in fact, some of them have parents in the town.
So why, for those who say some of these criminal elements are non-Nigerians who move through the ECOWAS territory
yes.
into Nigeria, is that true?
What happened is, you see, as I've said now, we are having an ethnic war. The Fulani nomadic feels his existence is threatened. So what they do is,
here this man is trying to portray the killers, the terrorists, as angels. Now, do you see? They give him chance in order to do it. Do you remember when, because of only call to our media representative or spokesperson, Emma Powerful, they have to ban Channels TV, for even because they don't want people, they don't want the world to hear our own side of the story. Do you see it? Just whatever they can speak their own side of the stories for the world to hear, and they will make sure in order to fool everywhere with their own side of stories, and they will never allow us to speak our own side. And here we are in Nigeria, right? One Nigeria. And people are clapping. Oh, we are in one Nigeria. Nah, hey, we are suffering it. Oh, I beg, instead, let us stay as we are. You want to stay under slavery, it's better to suffer this inconvenience once and for all and be free. And that is where we are heading, because we cannot afford to be, always we are on the ground begging. As our leader said during the World Igbo Congress, he said, time is up for appeasement. We have been appeasing, trying to appease, trying to play to the gallery, appease and beg and to belong in a place where we are supposed to be equal. And people are comfortable with it because they give you crumbs. There is a place I want to.
When they have a war, they call other Fulanis from other countries, irrespective of where they are. Fulani is Fulani.
Are you hearing? This interview, you might have listened to it because it's a bit long time, about 3 months ago. But I want to bring to you the issue, their value system that is different from yours, that is different from ours. That is why we shouldn't stay in a place, in an entity. It's impossible. Do you understand? Now, these people, they will come and tell you that, look, you are Delta Igbo. Yeah. Now, when they create a state, now you start answering that state. Ordinary state, oh, you are Rivers man, a Rivers man. You are Delta man, you are Delta. Our leader asked, why didn't they answer Sahelian, or Sahel? They come, the way you name your dog. You can name your dog a stone. Stone, he wiggle the tail. That is what the Fulani they are playing at us, I'm telling you. That is what they are playing at us. You can call your dog a river. He answer it. You can call your dog Buhari. He answer it. That is what you call it. And that is what makes it to be lower than you, because you are the owner. A dog cannot name you. Rather, you can name a dog. The same thing, this Fulani, the caliphate, they name you and you are happy answering what they give to you. I'm a Delta man. I'm a Rivers man. Are you? What is the difference between you and a dog? A dog and its owner. You are the dog and the Fulani is your owner. When you show your identity, because that is what they want you to do. Like the other day, they are killing the Gwari people. What they write is Niger State attacked by gunmen. These are terrorists, Fulani engagement terrorists. Now, the Gwari people that are living in other place, or Nupe people that are living in another state, we say no, this is happening in Niger State. The same way the TV of Taraba say, oh, they killed us. Why did they attack us? We are not the TV Benue. So you will see, look, the Fulani, they have stronger mental ability. I would say. When you want to do, they call you irredentists, but they are real irredentists. This man here, he confirmed. He say, Fulani is Fulani anywhere, whether from Sudan or from Kenya, from Mali, from Senegal, anywhere is Fulani. Don't you see that people like this, they are more civilized mentally? Don't you know that? When you yourself, yesterday they named you Niger Delta. You are no, now I'm Niger Delta. No more. I'm Niger Delta man. Tomorrow it is Rivers. Oh, Rivers, we are Rivers people. Now you ask, what is your African ethnicity? No. It doesn't matter. I'm Rivers. Oh, I'm Delta man. I'm Delta. We Deltans. Don't you? But the Fulani, they have pride in them. Answering I don't blame them. That is why they see that they are more above you as human beings. That is why they can treat you anyhow. They bring confusion between you and your brother, and they deal with you, they seclude you, make you start fighting with your brother. And you are happy fighting with your brother. Now they colonize you. Divide and conquer. It's very simple method. Age long, millennia, right from time is what they use. They don't want any division. Whether you are Cameroon Fulani or they don't care. What matters to them, they say that name Cameroon or Nigeria is nothing to them. What matters is they are brothers, they are Fulanis. You learn from your enemies. All you morons, can't you learn? I'm Niger Delta, I'm Rivers man. Oh yeah, I'm Bayelsa. Bayelsa of yesterday. Now you become Bayelsa. Oh, Chineke, kwena ihe ọjọọ. No, no, you are not. We are not Cross River Ejo. We are Ejo Bayasan or Bayasan Ejo. You divide yourself Ejo from Cross River and Ejo from Bayasan and Ejo from Rivers and Ejo from Delta. You are not. No. We are not. I'm Bayasan. No, you are from Delta. Are you supposed to be a complete human being? Are you supposed to be? No, you are not. Honestly. That is why they are treating you with disdain, because they know that you have low acumen as a human being. Under human being, I'm not talking about talent. Human being is the way you process information. The Fulani, they know that you are lower than them in acumen. Look at how this man just answered. No, Fulani is Fulani. It doesn't matter which country it's Fulani. Can any person, can any Biafran politician or clergyman or any say no? Forget about we are all one. No, don't forget about the state. I'm not talking. This one is not talking of state. He's talking about countries instituted by the Europeans. They disregard them. Can't you learn from them? Can't you learn from them, please? Can't you? Ordinary state inside the same so-called country, but you are divided like you know anything they call you, you answer, and you shed who you are, your real identity. I'm Benue. Yeah, I'm Benue. We know we are no more Igbo. We are no more Igbo. Before we were Igbos, but now we are Benue. And you look at yourself looking. You know, when you look yourself in the mirror, you'll be seeing orangot, lower animal. That is why in the Fulani, they are I'm telling you, because they divide you and you accept division, which means they are superior to you. But IPOB is bringing sanity in the brains of our people. That is the beauty of it. Let us continue listening. But remember, I'm talking about importance of common value system in nation building. After I will connect it to what I'm playing, please.
They go to defend their kinsmen. Then disperse, each one goes back to his roga. So that's why they what you call it, they transit the borders just for an operation and go back. But if there is calm and there's peace, you will not see this kind of incursion of foreign elements into the nation. And that's why it's very important. The government is very proactive in this issue. Let's go in, let's educate them, let's register them, let us do what we do to others, so that we don't have any Nigerian that can be susceptible to be used. If this money they are making is to take the land, they will be buying islands, they will be buying mansions, they will be buying cars and this is, no, they are still in the hut. They're just trying to survive. It's just a misconception from both sides.
He's defending the terrorists.
And I hope you follow me one time when I'm going in, to go with you and talk to them and interview them and see. And you see, for every victim you are talking about, victim of kidnapping, you have almost 10 times victims among themselves. They will show us, none of us here.
You see how they are talking, so that, you know, people, the world watching say, oh, these people, oh, pity the angels, look at. They suffered all these things. That is why they are doing the other. But do you remember, I think 2015, Al Jazeera interviewed the late Buhari. Ordinary to watch what the atrocities the police and the military are committing against Biafrans, to watch it on television, say, I cannot watch it. Do you see the hatred? But they sent, this one is negotiating, trying to, tell the world how the terrorists are feeling. Oh, this is why they are doing what they are doing. Give them what they want. Give them land. Put them, that is protruding them as innocent fellows that even they are the victims. That is giving them the chance to tell their own stories. But they stifle us not to tell our stories. This hallowed platform is established by our leader. That is why we are telling our own stories through here. Do you understand? Otherwise, they will not allow us to tell our stories. Continue listening.
Is not without a victim of violence, maybe killed by the military or killed or lynched in town. Do you know that there are situations to the extent that any man with this physique, Fulani physique, a slim, light complexion, or even the dark ones, on a motorbike is automatically arrested and incarcerated? The first time I ventured out into Jere area, two Fulani men, we were dropped out of a bus by the police and arrested. So their leader, Arpo, they call them Arpo, came to me and said, Lucy, when you came here, we called some of our herdsmen to come across, and they were arrested by police. I have to send people to go and bring them out. He said, without your intervention, they would have had to sell their cows to get bail out from police. What's their offense? Profiling. It's just that he's a Fulani herdsman. This is the situation they are facing. So they are really fighting, to them, they are fighting war to exist.
Some of your critics say that
all these defenses, who is defending us? Onye na-ekwuru anyị bikon, our politicians na-ekwuru anyị. Who? I could remember one pastor one time I saw on social media. He showed a video of what our people are passing all over the world, including China. They are pursuing us. And somebody is crying. How have the world rejected us? Why are they pursuing us? They want us to go to where? Even the pastor broke in tears as he was watching the thing online. He broke into tears. Who is talking for us? Who is speaking for us in our favor? That we are suffering. That they put ceiling on top of us. That the sky is no more our limit, rather the ceiling, right from time. We try to appease. We try to beg. No way, they kill us with impunity. They kill us with ease. Even our politicians, they laugh over it. They tell us, below-abiding citizens, don't even take law into your hands. Go and sleep. I will pay for the mortuary of your slain kinsman. He will be deposited in the mortuary, don't worry. And there ends it. Day in, day out, this is what you are suffering. Our farm crops have been plundered, nothing. Our women are raped and killed, no remorse. Nobody comes to our rescue. And people are blaming us when we rise up in order to defend ourselves. What type of humanity are we living in? How can we be there to be annihilated? Only for people among us that are just selfish, that are extremely selfish because of their selfish attitude, because of their political interests and political attitudes or political benefits. They are also following, bringing our killers to subjugate us. Listen, as I said before, during my early time in this program, they can live fine. They can live better life, travel around the world, have private jets, have guards, retinue of soldiers guiding them. But when they pass on, their children will suffer. They put the whole generations of our generations into perpetual slavery. The same way those that sold Joseph in the Bible, they Reuben them, they Gad, all of them, they sold Joseph, and after the repercussion came, there was hunger in the land. And God used Joseph to save them. And they were happy in Egypt. They lived well. The generations after them lived very well. They were prospering. They were rejoicing in Egypt, living as kings and queens. But they didn't know that the repercussion of their sin is coming to their unborn generations. Do you understand? That is the most sad part of it. They were not even directly punished, but their children suffered slavery because of what their ancestors did to their brother. That is what Azikiwe did. We are suffering today. Had it been he had a foresight, had it been Okpabia Asika remove extreme selfishness of being the governors of central or administrator of East Central State, of which even after the war, that place, that administrator, he was starved of finance, the most starved region in the history of Nigeria, of finance. He couldn't even enjoy it any longer. He is gone. There is no East Central State. We are even abolished. But that was what he was using, what motivated him in order to fight, request pogrom against his own people. And today we are suffering it. Do you see the actions of Sarki of Imo State? Very sadly, he will live very good. Very sadly, he is living fine. Very sadly, unfortunately, he is having private jet, flying on private jet. But what is the outcome in the next decades or hundreds of years or decades, tens of years? What will be the result if trends continue like this to the generations of our people? By that time, he will be no more. By that time, we shall be no more. But what he contributed in putting our generations coming, he will no more be alive to witness them. Rather, people that time will be shouting and crying, "Oh, why are we suffering like this?" The same way the Israelis were shouting and suffering, and crying and saying, "Why are we suffering like this? What is this?" Because of the sins of their ancestors. They didn't even know. Do you understand the irony of it? But according to our eternal leader, he said so, that he who is refused by others or rejected by others should not reject himself. That is why we are doing what we are doing, trying our best in order to make sure that our voice is being heard, that our voices are being heard, that our pleas are being heard, ricochets all over the world, because we have been killed, we have been massacred, and we have been cajoled, and we have been suppressed to keep quiet without crying. Where is the minds of the humanity? And people today continue being killed. Our people are being murdered every minute of the day. The politicians are feeding fat on our misery, making friends on people that have no common value system with them. Their only goal is to make sure that we are eliminated. But because they are in that position in order to eat the crumble, with on the same table with their masters, that is why they are comfortable. They don't care about their people. They don't care about what is happening in the plight of their people. Instead, they are playing politics. They want to be our president. Want to be president. It is very sad. Continue listening. There is a place I will stop.
Say that you are deodorizing evil by doing that.
You see, what they see, the Fulani herdsman now, he's seeing evil all surrounded by him. You can imagine when he sees his children, women, everything killed, his animals slaughtered.
Also,
yes.
Would you say there is justice if you are now asking for amnesty for those who have killed other people's children?
No, see, it's in an amnesty, it comes with a package. An amnesty comes with a package. What kind of package are you? Package means all victims should be looked at and the government should compensate, because actually it's the responsibility of the government to protect people, their lives and their livelihood, and we are not able to do. So since it's a negligence from government, then government should come on both sides. I'm not talking about both sides, they are victims. And I'm telling you, for everyone kidnapped, there are 10 casualties on the other side.
Are you getting any kind of support in terms of funding?
No, we don't have support except the states that adopt this, like Zamfara state, not funding, but they facilitate our movements, they accommodate us. When in just a stone thrown to place, you find Ruga of Fulanis. So it don't require much. We just buy some few little books, go to them. But you see, when I travel to a state, then the states give us logistics, they accommodate.
Nothing was paid.
Nothing was paid.
I will stop here, please, on this interview. You see, Nigeria have no level, equal playing ground. Ordinary interview, phone, not even that, on phone interview with Emma Powerful. Channels Television was sanctioned and they paid 5 million with apology because they are stifling us. Do you know what is bringing all this? It is because we lack common value system. And common value system is the most important thing in a nation building. Nations could be created artificially by conquest, mutual agreements, or organically. A value system also refers to the order and priority an individual or society grants to ethical and ideological values. And when we know all this big English grammar, ethics is a moral principle that governs a person's behavior or the conducting of an activity. Do you see why these people, they see us Biafrans as people that should be eliminated, people that should be crushed, because of it is what they believe in. Their value system, their values tell them that look, they have to be the conqueror. We're supposed to be the conquered. That is the way we're supposed to be. So-called peace. Do you understand? Are you going? So if you are living in Nigeria, you want to, oh, a Nigerian, you are a Nigerian. Oh, unity of Nigeria. Which means you want to live as a conquered person. That is it. That is where peace will reign. Anytime, anywhere, the Fulani, if a Fulani man speaks on the road, you don't talk. You can see your sister and say, come on, give me your sister. If you refuse, you cut off your neck and take your sister and rape her, do anything with her and say, this is an infidel, and if you want, anything with her. That is what they want. That is what their value told them. Do you understand that? How can we be in a country with this type of people? Do you see the other day, they also, I think yesterday or the day before yesterday, a news broke out, they destroyed another hundreds, if not thousands of cartons of, hundreds of lorry loads of alcoholic beverages in Bauchi. Because it is their value system. They have Hizbah police. But you dare not talk. You dare not speak, because that is the way their mindset is. What is being tweeted, what I played, what is being tweeted by the presidency, which they call Buhari, his presidency, the Fulani presidency, is the mindset of the Fulani Caliphate they brought out there. When it comes to their own terrorists, no, pamper them, negotiate with them, know what they want, give them money. Even governors take photo with them. Can you imagine? Now, can you imagine? We are not terrorists. Can you imagine Governor Dave Umahi taking photo with an ESN member having gun, posing with gun? What do you think that will happen in Nigeria? But these people, they are, and everybody, you talk, only talking, like a rat, and they are NC, because the Fulani, they understand the mentality of Nigerians. Highest they will speak, it makes a headline for 2 or 3 days, and after nothing more, you no go do nothing. That is the thing. That is why when I hear somebody say, and they are doing us and you don't talk, people are not talking. No, people might speak. It is not the problem of speaking. Doing something about it is what matters. It's not about you staying in your room and giving out, writing a nice epistle. But what are you doing as a concerned person? What are you doing about it? Do you understand? Do you see the importance of common value system? In Nigeria, the value system in Nigeria, what we have a value system of a conqueror, somebody that looks himself as, a conqueror, born to rule. He should talk and you keep quiet. That is the mentality of the Fulani Caliphate. Talk, he speaks, others keep quiet. The mentality of he himself have the right to invite every Fulani to come into Nigeria and become Nigerians, but he condition you to be Delta Igbo. If you speak, if you speak, say I'm Igbo, you say no, don't call yourself. You don't. If you say you are an Igbo again, I will send a fighter to bomb you. Do you understand? Say you are a Delta Igbo. You say I'm a Delta Igbo. You say okay, that is how we condition you. They condition others, whereas you have nothing to condition them. You can't do anything. You want in Nigeria a place whereby the Sadwana of Sokoto is the leader, the eternal leader of all Muslims in Nigeria, including Yoruba Muslims. If you have Igbo Muslims, Yoruba Muslims, anybody, they bow to him. Even our traditional rulers, the whole Nigeria bow to him. That is the Nigeria they want. That is what is called one Nigeria. Are you understanding it? So that when you say, when they tell you that it is completely Fulanization there, well, you say no, they can't do it. But they are doing it because they condition you. You don't understand it because you are a moron. You understand? Just like a dog, what you care for is your food, only feeding. You go make your business, have benefit, and that's it. You go home happy. Nothing again matters. You don't think about your political situation, about the political language that is, or the political tone that is around you. You don't care. One day you go, they'll kill you, the Fulani terrorists, they will shoot and kill you, and others will shout, oh, hey, this one, hey, Jesus, God have pity on us in this country. Oh, what can we do? Oh, rest in peace now. I saw the video of one guy that I've been staying in Germany for, is it over 20 years? I think maybe he have German nationality. He was just not killed in a very, very cold-blooded way by Air Force. He visited his family, just driving to go to enter flight, from Owerri to Lagos, where we don't have international airports. If you are speaking it, people say, no, how are you marginalized? No seaport, no airport. Is anybody talking about Enugu Airport again? What about Second Niger Bridge? All these are mirages. The more abracadabra, the more you look, the less you see, which the Fulani have been using. Not only the Igbo politicians, they are the main people playing these games against us. That is why we should rise against them. I'm telling you. Because these are the main problem we are having. They are the ones always informing their master. No, we know how to handle them. They are our people now. Have you forgotten how Ojo Zokalo played the presidency? No, he deceived them into believing that, Kano is my small brother, don't worry. You see, he's Kano. Fulani, they don't know the difference between Kano and Carlo. He said, look, we answer the same surname. Don't worry, I will give me what it takes. I will go meet him in Kuje Prison. I will convince him, don't worry, now our people. I know how to handle him. And he was given the contract. And he went to Kuje Prison to visit our leader, even to pose for photo, because he planned it. Our leader kept telling him, go and join the nearest IPOB in your zone. Do you remember when immediately after Operation Python Dance, he saw Joseph Carlo that came out? No, not here. He's in Malaysia now. No, he's okay. No. Because they believe that he is dead. Do you remember recently also, Joseph Carlo was the person saying, no, Buhari should commission me, give me a contract, let me go and meet Kano in London. I will convince him, don't worry. Do you see how they behave? Whereas Sheikh Gumi is defending the cause, their own cause. These people, they are there. Even playing more, our enemies will contract them into making sure that they suppress our voices. All they want is that money for the contract. That is why the Fulani, they look at our people, they look at us as a low life, low people that you can control. Give them money, throw crumbs in them, and they will sell their mother. That is the way they see us. And this mentality should stop. That is what we are saying. You should stop. Our people are rising up, honestly. There is no way our common system, we have common value system or common values with these people. The importance of common value system in nation building, that is enormous. You know, in Nigeria, they will always deceive you and tell you that there is how do they say? There is this thing in diversity, strength in diversity. Do you understand? There is a strength in diversity. There is, all these are bunkum. In nation building, there must be a common value that is adopted in that nation. Otherwise, that country will never progress. Ask Malaysia and Singapore. They agreed to be together, but their values were different. Instead of development, they were killing themselves. Frictions. The Malaysians will say this. The Singaporeans will say, no. They want to do, no. This is how we should do it. And friction upon friction, resulting into killing. Only few years, they say, no. Oh, this type of marriage, we no agree. No. They pursue Singapore from there. Say, oh, yeah, no. And today, they are progressing. Today, they are progressing. Because each one will go now with their value system. And they develop their country according to their belief. Because it involves ethics. The moral principles that govern a person. What you believe is how you act. So when you see them defending terrorists, it is their belief. Why shouldn't they have their own country and if just be like Afghanistan? That is not my concern. But why should we be fighting one country so that they will force me to be behaving like them, like terrorists? Do you see it? Do you understand? Do you see it? Do you see what we have? What do you see our logic? Do you see why they cannot come to debate us? Are you understanding the importance of common value system in nation building? Nigeria can never progress. It's a failed state. Even the former Campbell, the former U.S. ambassador to Nigeria, he said it can't complain. Nigeria is failed. It's failed state. Direct. So there is nothing again because of this common system, lack of common value system. We have opposing value systems. Whereby Shegumi is interested in, their own interest is to make sure that Sharia. There was a clamor for Sharia to be in the West in Oduduwa land. Do you see that? Do you see their value? What do I know by Sharia? What do I know about Sharia? What do we know? Nothing. It is not our value. We do our thing. We love progress. We love peace. But these people, they love conquest. They love to command, to make it. If you don't, they don't understand anything about democracy. Do you understand? Their mentality is that autocratic rule. Feudal system. Landlord and squatter system. If I talk, don't talk. Just obey. And that is not who we are. Do you see that it cannot continue? All these things, they are deceiving you with your diversity is your strength. It's bunkum. There is no country that is found on diversity. It's no way. That is what made countries like India to separate you from Pakistan to separate from India. Value system. Bangladesh from Pakistan. Value system. Even Sri Lanka, Colombo from India. Value. Because there's no way you can impose your value on me, what you believe. It is your ethics. It is the way you act. Once you see the Fulani, you see the Caliphate. What they Janjaweed, what they go with the dagger. Any slightest provocation, they kill you as far as you are an infidel. But we make peace. We make peace. We don't kill. Because that is not our value. And they are pushing us into trying to buy value that is not ours. Do you see how Nigeria is destroying us? Do you see why we should move away from that place? A nation or a country must have an overall common value system that governs everyone. Different and opposing values breed hate or hatred, which results to injustice, as you are seeing in Nigeria. As you are seeing the Fulani, all of them are threatening fire and brimstone against Biafrans. But when it comes to their land, all these things are, worse things are happening in their land. Soldiers are being killed and slaughtered in Castina, in Niger State, in all parts of the north. People are killed by the Fulani Janjaweed. They don't talk about it. No. Those people, when you talk about those, you say, no. You remember Garbashi, you say, bomb the terrorist hideout. You say, no, we cannot bomb because we have to protect the flora and fauna, the ecology. When you bomb, grass born. So why are you wasting grass? But in our own land, they will bomb everybody. Do you see how they are burning everywhere? Burning houses, killing people without fear or talking about forest or ecology. Do you see? Because it is their value system. Their value is to kill. As far as you are not in the same wavelength with them, as far as you are not succumbing for them to rule over you, as far as you are not succumbing to the way to be their almajiri, for them to control you, now they waste you. That is their value. How can we build a country or a nation with this? Think about it.